Today we're going to depart a little bit from our normal into the layers, but I think you're going to find this, hopefully you'll find this interesting. You guys have asked for this sort of information quite a bit. I'm going to share 5 things I do every mix. And I use the word every loosely. Sometimes I don't, but more often than not, this is where I like to start. Now, on vocals, I tend to start with the channel strip. It's a great tool for repair work. It's a great tool for soft, gentle EQing. So here's a song we've done before, Beautiful Liar with Casey Jones. Here's the channel strip. If you'll notice a little bit of repair work here. This 1.2K, that's adding a little clarity. Normally, 9 times out of 10, this would be somewhere a little higher, but this vocal is recorded so well it didn't really need that. So this is where I start. Let me play it for you.
You keep talking funny little words, conjugating, turning adjectives to verbs. It's a mystery how you survive.
Okay, today's lesson is not about EQing, it's just where I start. Now, the second thing I usually do is, once I get the vocals, I'll usually go for the drums, sometimes a pad or a guitar. I always start with my parallel chain in place, just in case I need it. And I'd say 90% of the time I use it. So here's my snare. Here's my parallel chain up here, snare DBX. Okay, here's without it. With it. We've done this before, but in case you missed it, this is a good spot to start to kind of emulate a DBX 160X, adding a little bit of mid-range, taking out a little heaviness, muddiness. The muddiness is probably a little higher, but for some reason I did that, so let's go with that. And then same thing on the kick. Here's my kick without it. Here's the kick with it. Good setting to emulate a DBX 160. Now, number 3. I've hinted at this before, but I always start with my Moog EQ across the stereo bus. Sometimes I take it off. You've seen a lot where I have, but I like to start. Now, on this particular song, I'm using the 500 series version, but Cliff Moog makes a great plug-in version of this, and then there's the old big one that I still use a lot. Before I play without, what I'm doing is I'm adding a touch at 20K, a touch at 2.5, a touch at 160, taking off a bunch of sub. I'm adding a touch at 40.
Sweet talking is getting you in trouble, love. Your jive walking is getting old, you're tripping up.
In again.
Sweet talking is getting you in trouble, love. Your jive.
Great piece of gear. Software, everything. Great piece of gear. Now, number 4. I've become addicted to my Shadow Hills Optograph compressor on vocals, on everything, but I only have one. Going back to the vocals, it finds a way to get on every vocal.
You keep talking funny little words, conjugating, turn.
Here's without it.
You keep talking funny little words, conjugating, turning that.
There's not a lot of gear that I am a proponent of just running it through the gear to improve the sound as opposed to actually do something. But this is one of those rare pieces of gear. Now, if you can't afford the $1,500 for one of those, then there was a time when I didn't have one. Just a good old solid 1176 will work. Now, I like the Waves one, and I like the UAD E-Series 1176. So let's disengage this. Here's with.
You keep talking funny little words, conjugating, turning adjectives to verbs.
And here's without.
You keep talking funny little words, conjugating.
So now, the fifth thing I use on every mix is my Bricasti reverb. Now, I apologize. This is a piece of gear that's pretty much out of the price range of cats that don't do this for a living. But if you can afford one, you got to get one. The Bricasti is just a wonderful piece of gear. This is the remote for it, and I use it a lot. I use it so much that sometimes I'll be working on something and I'll dial in a reverb setting and then I'll print that. That way I can free the unit up to do something else. Now, if you can't afford this, a good alternative is the reverb from McDSP, some of the impulse response reverb programs. Theirs is great. TL Space is great. Altiverb is the acknowledged leader in the space. But don't forget about the lowly little Deverb. I also use Deverb on every mix, just about every mix. If you talk to Dylan Dresdo, you'll find that several of his top clients really like that reverb also. So these are 5 things I do every mix. And create your own. What would really be kind of neat if you guys have your own 5 things list and put them up on our Facebook page. That'd be pretty cool for me to read what you guys do. Okay? Bye-bye.